guys, it's Lucas again. I haven't done a video for quite some time. I've been caught up in my own stuff for a while, but I'm still doing alright. I recently just got released to go back to work because my toes healed, which I'm very fortunate for that. So hopefully things are going to start looking up a little bit better. Not saying that stuff's like going bad or anything, but they could be better. And that also brings me to like something I want to say. I feel like the human nature of human beings, I feel like that they're naturally conditioned to want more than what they have, or want to be more than they already are, no matter if if the person has set a goal and successfully worked their ass off and took the time to be able to achieve that goal. So basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like everybody's just wanting more all the time than what they really truly are, or what they truly have, or what they truly value the most. But anyway, I feel like ever since, I don't know if I told you guys this, but I've been like really interested in like spiritual well-being. So that being said, I've been doing like a lot of research and reading on like meditation and yoga, all different types of yoga. And it all started one night whenever I was just like, I guess just going down the YouTube hole, and I was searching for some kind of spiritual awakening or spiritual growth. That and all that stuff, you know. But anyway, it just brings me to my point. I don't know if I told you guys this or not, but whenever I was going down the YouTube hole, I came across this video of this guy who's got his own channel. Little did I know, wrote like a bunch of books, and his name is, I don't know if it's his real name, but it's what people call him. They call him Sadhguru. And so I went down the YouTube hole one night and I watched a couple videos of this guy, and I couldn't help but realizing how much this guy grabbed my attention. And I also didn't realize at the time how much this guy knew and how smart he was, or is. And So pretty much, like, this guy is one of my idols because I literally, like, watched, like, 2 or 3 videos, and then, like, the next day or two after I got paid, I found out about, like, this book that he wrote called Inner Engineering, right here. And, you know, it's been like maybe 2 weeks or so since I received the book, and I'm on page 117. I don't know how many pages there are in this book, but it doesn't even look like I'm halfway through it. But I'm almost there to the halfway point. But this book has been like a life changer for me. It has gave me like a new outlook on things, and even like not just giving me a different outlook on things, but letting me know that I need to start having a different outlook on things, if that makes any sense, rather than just having one straight forward outlook and belief. That brings me to another point that I was thinking about while I was at work tonight. I feel like back whenever I was little, and I was like not like fully grown yet, I guess, or my brain wasn't. I would come across certain situations where I had to make a choice, and I had to make it like pretty fast. And at the time, I remember like at the time whenever this was going on, I was just like too young, and my brain wasn't fully developed enough to look at a certain situation that I have to make a big decision about, more than just one different like way or one different outlook. So like that being said, I guess what I'm trying to say is now, every time I am put in that position where I have to make a decision, and it's an important decision that's gonna like affect me later on, I have to take a little bit of time, a little bit of more time making that decision. And it also like depends on the type of situation that I have to decide what I'm gonna do about it, I guess. I think I'm getting a cold. It is pretty cold outside, but anyway, so after reading this book for a while, there was one night where I was home, and for some reason I just felt like meditating. I don't know why. I felt like that I needed to do it, but I did it. And I've tried meditating before I did this, like not very many times, but I've tried it before, and I never really had any results, I guess, or I didn't really have any of the results that I was looking for. But that night I meditated, and there was like a lot of there was meditation music in the background, but there was also like a lot of certain ways and certain different things that the person who was doing the guided meditation said to do, and that one of them was like breathing in really deep and making your stomach pop out when you inhale, and then letting everything out of your lungs and your mouth as you exhale. And for a while after doing that, first it started like right here at the top of my head, and then it like went down here, and then all over my face, and then like all the way down on my back and my stomach, and it like pretty much just like stopped right here. And what I'm talking about is like when I started noticing this, every inhale and exhale after, I noticed that there was a certain change in my physical feeling. It started to get a lot more intense. My face started like vibrating almost, but it wasn't. It was almost like my muscles were having a spasm attack, but it wasn't a spasm attack because I know what a spasm attack feels like, and it wasn't a spasm attack. This fly's pissing me off, sorry. Anyway, it was just really, really weird. And like, when I really, really got deep into it and it started getting more intense, there was one point where like, I snapped back to reality, but I didn't open my eyes, and I almost like started to freak out because of the way that I was feeling. But I remembered somewhere in the book, or maybe it was somewhere in the book or one of the videos that I watched of him, specifically said during meditation, any negative feeling or any feeling at all, positive, negative, accept it no matter what. And it was like really hard at first to do that, but it got easier the more and more that I kept telling myself that everything was going to be alright. And now, like, after that happened, I've tried to meditate a couple more times, and those times after that I have, I've noticed that it doesn't take as long as it took whenever I experienced that. So what I'm saying is I guess like the more and more you do this, the easier it is to get to that state. And the state that I did witness or feel or whatever, it wasn't like I just lost my train of thought, sorry. I mean, it wasn't like the state that I was feeling was bad. So I guess like the more and more you do it, the easier it is to get to that state. And I don't know like if it depends on a person's body chemistry on how easy it is or how quickly it is for them to get to that state. And I don't even know if the state that I was in is the only possible state that you can experience if I was to go deeper, or if you were to go deeper than whatever, or than what I went. So, yeah, I had a pretty good experience with that, and I'm gonna start doing it a little bit more because it makes me feel good. But another thing that this book has been talking a lot about is like these different styles of yoga and like what they're meant for, and some of it's like pretty interesting. Excuse me. And I probably need to start getting a little bit more involved with that and studying that, because you know, your mind and your body is like two different things. You can choose to work on your mind the most, or you can choose to work on your body the most. But whichever you work on the most is going to get more aligned quicker than the other one. So, that being said, the more that I concentrate on just enhancing my mind and my brain, the less good my body is going to be able to respond to it, because my body is not perfectly aligned for this experience in the begin with anyways, if that makes sense. There's this one type of yoga style that he was talking about, and I think that I'm going to start doing more research on that specific one, and I think it's called hold on a second. Where is it? Sorry, I'm trying to find it. I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to find it. Okay, here it is. This is, I'm just going to read this little title and little paragraph out of the book just to give you a little bit of a detail and an idea of what this really is and what this yoga style is really meant for. So it says, the title is called In Sync with the Sun. And it says, the Surya Namaskar, or Surya Namaskar, is a family sequence of postures. To many who have practiced or know something of yoga. Generally, people understand the Surya Namaskar as a physical exercise. Others view it with some suspicion as some form of sun worship. It is neither. Yes, it most definitely does strengthen your spine and your muscles and more, but that is not the objective. What then is the significance of what is often seen as the sun salutation, or salutation, however you want to pronounce it. And it says, firstly, this is a salutation at all. This is not a salutation at all. It literally means organizing the solar energies within you. The sun is the life source of this planet, and everything you eat, drink, and breathe, there is an element of the sun. Internalize it and integrate it into your system. Do you truly benefit from this process? Those who do Surya Namaskars regularly find that their batteries last longer, with less need for charge or replenishment. Additionally, the Surya Namaskar aids the balance or reorganizations of inner energies in terms of right and left, or lunar and solar dimensions. This produces an innate physical and physiological equilibrium that can be an enormous asset in one's daily life. The Surya Namaskar is essentially about building a dimension within you where your physical bodily cycles are in sync with the sun's cycles, which run about 12 and a quarter years. It is not by accident, but by intent that it has been structured with 12 postures. If your system is a certain level of vibrancy and readiness, and in a high state of receptivity, the natural cycle then naturally your cycle will be in sync with the solar cycle. Young women have an advantage because they are also in sync with the lunar cycles. It is an advantage, but a lot of them treat it as a curse. It is a fantastic possibility that your body is both connected to solar and lunar cycles. So, basically, what this means to me, in my understanding, is this type of yoga style is specifically meant for your your like foundation, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And it's like, okay, here's your foundation that's like, I don't know, that you built like, okay, maybe 16 years ago or some shit, and it's like getting old, and it's starting to rot, and it's starting to like slag and stuff like that. That's like a perfect example of a person that is not in alignment or in line with the solar system, and that specific yoga style is meant for building that back up and realigning your spine and your foundation so that you can actually physically, spiritually, and mentally respond to the sun and the solar cycles, both cycles. Also depending on your zodiac too. That's the way I'm understanding it. I could be wrong though, so don't listen to me and think that I'm like a 100% genius on this, because I just bought the book. It's my first time reading it, and I'm just telling you what I get, or what I'm getting out of it, and the way I'm understanding it. If anybody else has read this book and is a lot more familiar with this and knows more about it than I do, tell me, please, and tell me if I'm wrong and tell me if I'm right in the way that I am understanding this. That being said, don't really have that much else to talk about. I did buy 2 books. That was the one that I showed you was the main one I bought, but this, I bought it on eBay and it came with a buy one get one free deal of his other books. And this one I have not touched yet, but it's called Adi Yogi, The Source of Yoga by Sadhguru and Arundhati. Something, I can't pronounce it, but that's what it looks like. And I can't wait to read it too. So, stay tuned. Hope you like the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't. Like the video. Comment. Questions. Anything like that. But I'm gonna go now. I will talk to you guys later. Be safe.